Hello and welcome to this top 5 list of rulers to play as in the 867 start date in Crusader Kings 3. My name is Koifish and I have handpicked these 5 rulers that all offer something unique and interesting for your next Crusader Kings 3 adventure. So I hope that you can find at least one ruler that you haven't played as before. And number 1 on the list, we have none other than the legend himself, Jarl Hastin. All jokes aside, this character is as close to Jarl Hastin as one can get without actually playing him. But of course talking about Audr, the Deep-Minded. Starting the game as a Catholic Norse woman, ruling over half of Iceland, this female philosopher has the unique opportunity to not just beg the Pope for gold, but also raid him for it. But it's her Hastin-like ability to conquer almost any Catholic kingdom with minimal effort that truly earns her spot on this list. Because Audr is a Catholic, with the virtuous trait generous, great stats in learning, and being a woman, she's easily able to seduce, sway, or blackmail the Pope into giving her a claim on a sinner's kingdom, letting her springboard her Norse dynasty into any European kingdom with the help of powerful Norse warriors and mercenaries paid for by raiding. But players should be wary. There are some things hidden deep in the past here. Her late husband had a nickname, the White, for his pale skin and fair hair, while their oldest son Thorstein has the nickname, the Red, for his red hair. I won't go into any more detail, I think you can connect the dots yourself on this one, but at least one of her 3 kids share their father's golden locks. Living lavishly in the most southeastern part of the map, the next ruling Maharaja has pockets full of gold, a brain full of knowledge, and a plate full of rice and curry. We're of course talking about none other than the Maharaja Sena of the Lambakana kingdom. This Sinhalese Shad starts as the king of Sri Lanka and rules over all of the de jure titles himself. The modern day island has still not cut its land tie with India, letting the massive 25 development from the neighboring Madurai county spread over to your lands. Your kingdom also starts with a pre-built university as well as a 5 gold per month mine that will pay for your tuition fees. But the potential doesn't end there. As your culture has access to the very powerful watch steel innovation, you can construct the incredibly powerful building, wind furnaces. These are actually very interesting in real life, so this is a quick explanation from me how they actually work. You take a furnace, you puff wind into the fire in the furnace and whoo, it burns hotter. Now instead of having old Steven there blowing a bellow, what if we angle the furnace so that it catches the wind coming from the coastline and increases the heat to the point where we can burn off impurities in the iron and sort of make steel. But all you need to actually know in game is that they give you the perfect balance between economy and military. Maharaja Sena follows the Theravada Buddhist faith and starts with 3 amazing book artifacts. One of them boosts your learning lifestyle experience, letting you quickly get to scholar, while the other lets you have one more sway scheme going, an incredibly powerful tool to keep your ruler well liked by his court. Maharaja Sena is the perfect start for those that want to focus on developing their lands, booming their economy, and inevitably creating the strongest Indian space marines the world has ever seen. Our 3rd ruler is the most determined yet. Coming all the way from the beautiful fjords of Norway, the great and glorious Viking legend, Haraldr Tanglehair. He's a 17-year-old Audr chieftain who has vowed to never cut or comb his hair until he becomes the first king of Norway. So unless you want him to look like a Rastafarian by the age of 30, you need to hurry up and conquer Norway, so that he can finally go to the barber. Haraldr is the perfect alternative to those that are tired of playing as the sons of Lothbrok or Hasty, but still want to get the true Viking experience. With great traits, amazing martial skill, and high prowess, you should have no problems unifying the tribes of Norway under the Yngling banner. My advice is to use your starting prestige to increase your men-at-arms units, as you will mostly be spending piety to declare wars against your fellow Vikings. And once you've unified Norway, untangle your hair and secured an heir, Haraldr is perfectly situated to form the incredibly difficult High Kingdom of the North Sea. To do so, you must not just secure the throne of Norway, but also Denmark and England. This is one of Crusader Kings 3's most difficult achievements, a worthy challenge for only the best of Crusader Kings 3 Viking enjoyers. Do you have what it takes to rule the Northern Sea? Only time will tell. Anyone that claims that number 4 on our list is weak is surely living in denial, which is exactly where we can find this guy. Petty King Zakharias III of Makuria, a young Nubian Coptic duke ruling from the glorious holding of Old Dongola. But it's not the young age of Zakharias that earns the spot on the list, but his insanely powerful Nubian culture. As with the cultural tradition Land of the Bow, you can create the Nile Archers, an absolutely broken men-at-arms unit that will destroy anything they fight against in the floodplains. Which, funnily enough, happens to be the majority terrain of your Tulanid neighbors to the north. So all aboard the night boat to Cairo, as conquering any other land would be utter madness. The newly conquered lands of Egypt should give you many treasures, unique buildings, and a great position from where you can launch your very own Coptic crusade for the Holy Land. The Nubian culture also has the agrarian tradition, giving you insane bonuses to development and construction in floodplains. It should be noted that you start with the female preference when it comes to succession, something that is quite unique in the otherwise male-dominated medieval world of Crusader Kings 3. Will you conquer Egypt for the Nubians and put a dynasty of bow-wielding warrior queens on the throne? Or will the remains of your shattered ambitions float down the Nile into the sea? Only time will tell. And last but not least, number 5 is perhaps the strangest of all characters in Crusader Kings 3. Jarl Dyre the Stranger, the bastard son of Halfdan Whiteshirt. This genius Viking warrior finds himself ruling over Konungardr, a duchy at the crossroads of many different worlds. With his fellow Norsemen to his north, the horse lords of Gassaria to his east, the fierce Slavs to his west, and the bountiful lands of Byzantium to his south. No matter which direction you decide to go in, you're in for one hell of an adventure. And with the mind of a genius, great stats in diplomacy, and a host of 1,000 men ready to fight for you, this actual bastard has the tools he needs to secure his very own legacy. My recommendation is that you launch a Varangian adventure against the Duchy of Thessalonica in the Byzantine Empire. Its high development and pre-built gold mine acts as the perfect starting point to your very own Varangian realm. From there, you switch your strategy from warfare to diplomacy and offer your sword to the Basilius in return for religious protection. You're now in the perfect situation to either rule as a steadfast and honest Varangian, or better yet, switch to stewardship and gain the perk meritocracy that lets you fabricate a claim on the entire empire to seize it all for yourself, making this bastard the first Viking Basilius. Whatever adventure you end up having, Jarl Dyre is sure to become one of your new favorites. For what is a stranger, if not a friend you haven't made yet? I hope that this video gave you some new inspiration for your next Crusader Kings 3 playthrough, and I would love to hear about any adventures you'll have with these wonderful characters. If you have any other 867 start date characters to recommend, please do so down in the comments so that other people can see them as well. If you want to see me play as 2 of these characters, you can check either of these videos on screen right now. You won't be disappointed. My name has been Koifish, hope you like this video, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Until then, stay awesome guys.